Hi guys, it's Irene and welcome to ILO on Location episode 8. Today on the show, I am joined by my first Wilkinson family member, the fabulous Fiona. My Wilkinson family is the amazing family my sister married into. And when I say amazing, I also mean massive. There's at least 100 of them at their family reunions. Fiona is married to a Wilkinson and she is fabulous. Not only is she a retired post-production supervisor who was at the top of her field working internationally in our film and television industry for over 20 years, she is a mom to her two gorgeous sons, Robert and Sam, a fur baby mama, a professional photographer, and currently in her 4th year of studies as an energy healer at the Barbara Brennan School of Healing. She'll be my awesome guest today, and we are going to talk about energy healing and its relationship to health and disease, its positive effect on healing and human transformation, and what it's like to become a trained professional. So, stick around for my conversation with Fiona. Welcome to the ILO on Location podcast. I'm your host, Irene Karras-Loper. That's ILO for short. And my podcast is all about having fun, connecting with your friends, and breaking shit down. Guys, I'm practically halfway to 100, and when I look around at my circle of friends, I see the most incredible women. They make me laugh out loud, they support me through everything, and they inspire me with their amazingness. So, join me on my couch, grab a bottle of rosé, and let me bring you the gift of the gab to brighten your day. Usually I have a glass of rosé, but today I thought I'd mix it up and have a Palm Bay on ice instead. As I'm trying to get sponsors, and so what why not? What better way to get sponsors than to, promote the alcohol I like to drink.
Yeah.
So thank you
I would normally would, but I do have to be on probably a fairly lengthy call after this.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'm so glad you made yourself available for me today because you are my first podcast guest that I don't already know a lot about. I know a little bit about your earlier career when you were in the editing world, when I first met you through my sister. So I thought what would be interesting is I actually get to learn new stuff about my sister-in-law, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, it is kind of exciting.
So let me just tell people who I'm talking to. Welcome to my listeners. Today, I have the amazing Fiona Wilkinson, who is coming into us live from her home office in West Vancouver, her beautiful home on the ocean. And Fiona Wilkinson is my sister's sister-in-law. So Fiona's husband and my sister's husband are brothers. And may I say handsome brothers. And very successful brothers who run, and Fiona's husband owns a video game company called Hothead Games. So welcome. And,
thank you.
Tell me a little bit about what you're doing for school. I don't really know what you do. So let's just talk a little bit about what you're doing currently, and then we'll backtrack.
Okay. I am taking a 4-year course in energy healing.
Oh.
So it's called Barbara Brennan School of Healing.
Okay.
And it's been around since the, I think, 80s.
Okay.
Barbara was a nuclear physicist and worked for NASA, and she decided one day, for other reasons or whatever reasons, that she wanted to go into the energy healing world because she had studied, everything is energy. Right. And so she just really wanted to take it to another understanding and level from her education. Mm-hmm. So she started this school, and she started it in New York originally. And now we're in Florida. We go 5 times a year for a week. and then we do homework between classes. I will do healings. I do healings on people between classes, and I write up my healings. Yeah. So
Wow.
that's what.
Okay, so this is quite interesting because Fiona and I touch base on things over our family visits and stuff. And I've heard you speak of your training and going to Florida and being away for weeks at a time and focused on your work. And I kind of knew it had something to do with healing and homeopathic is what I kind of thought, but I didn't really know a lot what it was about. But when you say energy, is this the kind of thing where when you say healing energy, it's putting people in a good mood or actually dealing with illnesses?
Well, can be both. It depends on what the person comes in with. Me and most people that come in to see me, well, at this point, they have health issues. They may have a sore back, or they could have. We're not allowed to work quite until the end of this year with people who have cancer and really serious illness.
Okay.
But we work with people with, arthritis, and they come in with pain, and they've tried all different types of other methods. And not that we really believe that we work with those other methods, with people's medications or with their doctors. Often I'll speak to a doctor and I'll say, and this is what I'm doing on this person. It's just clearing the field. I'm not doing anything that would interfere with what you are doing. So that has to be very clear. So, I mean, some people sort of equate it a little bit to Reiki. Yes. And so the difference between Reiki really and us is we spend 4 years studying it.
Wow.
So ours is a very in-depth study of the human body, of the human condition, of our psychological conditions, how the psychosis or wounds or things that happen to us when we're children, how they can really affect us emotionally and then physically throughout our whole lives. So we really get into a lot of the dealing with people on all kinds of levels.
This is why I'm so excited to talk to you today, because I don't know anybody who does what you do. I have a girlfriend. When you said Reiki, I'll have to reach out to her and learn a little bit more about what she does. I know she has experience in that, but how did you go from, if I'm correct, being one of the top film and television female editors in our movie industry here in Vancouver and internationally, from that world to this world? Like, that's quite a transition, quite a jump. And I know you had children in between. Tell me a little bit how you found this current career path that we're going to talk more about.
Okay. Well, I wasn't an editor. I was an editor earlier on, but I became a post-production supervisor. So I supervised the department. I didn't do editing after a while, but I did work. I worked as a post-production supervisor. So I supervised the editorial departments of shows like television series and movies and television movies and stuff like that. So I finished that around 2008 or 9. I decided to stay home with the boys because I have 2 boys.
Gorgeous boys.
Yes, Robert and Sam, who are 28 this year and 21 this year. So I decided that enough was enough. I'd worked about 20 some odd, 25 years in the film industry. So I started on commercials in Toronto, and then I came out here and got into long format. But how did I go from here to there? I'd always been interested in the human condition, how we get sick, why we get sick, how people, heal from being sick. So it was more that interest. I'd always had it. And so I decided that it was a complete fluke. I found out about this school. I was at a spa in Arizona.
Thank you.
After visiting my son who went to University of Arizona. And I went in to see this woman, and I'd never heard of what she was doing. And I sat down in front of her, and she said, "You need to go to Barbara Brennan's School of Healing and become a healer." Flat out. And I just looked at her. I went, "What? What? Like, what are you talking about?" And then she did this healing on me, and it was a Barbara Brennan healing. And I had no idea what she was doing half the time, but it was really, and I felt really good afterwards. And I thought, that's interesting. That sounds like a really interesting thing to do. So I surprisingly, because I don't normally, when people say to me, "You should do this," I go, "Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Thank you. Don't tell me what to do."
Right.
So I went back to my room, surprisingly, at the spa, and I looked it up and I went, oh my God, that sounds fascinating. That sounds
Wow.
a really cool thing to do. And so within a year I was in Florida, standing in a ballroom in a Marriott with
No
hundreds of
way.
other people who were at the school going, oh my God, what have I done? So that was 4 years ago, and I'm in my last year. So we're in our last
Wow.
year.
Were
Yeah. So
you just at a point in your life where you were looking to add something more now that the boys were a bit older and
yeah.
off to school, and something to a new passion? Or like you said, you were always interested in this, and like
Hmm.
healing and illness and all that. Was it just like the timing kind of as well?
Yeah, it was timing. I mean, I had spent from when I stopped working, and people were shocked because I was a workaholic.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was. Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay,
And I
okay.
worked all the time,
Hmm.
and I went from that to becoming a hockey mom and a soccer mom.
Right.
And so that was shocking for me, because I was an organizer, and I got
Right.
things done, and I worked for studios. I worked for MGM for
Hmm.
7 8 years. I mean,
Right.
I did a lot of that type of stuff, so I was used to getting things done. And
Right.
this whole hockey mom and staying home was just so foreign to me. It was
Hmm.
so foreign, but I ended up loving it. I mean, I got to know my boys. I got to know their friends. Our
Hmm.
house became the house to come to.
Hmm.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I still wanted something for myself.
Right.
So when this came up randomly, I jumped on it.
Yeah.
And I have friends in that field, in
Hmm.
the energy healing field, who
Hmm.
are they do cranial sacral work, or they do massage, or they do physio, and that to
Hmm.
me is all healing work.
Of
Like, it's
course. Yeah.
forms of it, but it's
Hmm.
all healing work. And
Hmm.
so I'd always been fascinated with it. So that's kind of
Wow.
how I got in. Yeah.
And
So
so when you went to the first step, being in the Marriott hotel, and fish out of water in a kind of a weird way, right? Something totally
mhm,
foreign.
mhm.
Was it the people that you met that were somewhat inspiring, or was it the actual instructional coursing and teachings of that weekend that grabbed you? Was it a combination?
Well, that was my first week. I didn't go to a weekend workshop. I went right into the school. So that was
Oh,
like the first week of school. Like,
holy
I'd never been
shit!
to a workshop. I had no idea about this school.
Oh my
And I
god!
I just ended up in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, just outside of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And it was bizarre. And the people there was about 30 of us in our class,
Okay.
and all 4 years go there. So there was a couple hundred people from all the different years,
Hmm.
and we met the teachers, and off we went. And that was
Wow. Oh, so there was no like, hey, I'm gonna go for a weekend in Florida
no,
and goes for dinner and maybe another spa and check
no.
it out. No, it was right in. You committed 100%.
Yeah, well, I always said I'm going year by year because it's hard
Hmm.
work. So, but yeah, so we go usually October, December, February, April.
Hmm.
We're supposed to be there next week.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
and yeah, we're not going.
right.
And June. So June I would be graduating, but apparently be graduating, but not in person, which is
Right.
very, very sad for us. But
Oh,
yeah.
right. Oh, that's
So, but
awful.
yeah, so it's a lot of work.
So
And
when you are
mhm,
taking the program and you're
right.
studying and you're doing these courses and stuff, and is it books? Is it online? Is it patient to patient? Is it how does it kind of how do you learn to do stuff like this? Hands
Well,
on?
we have a like this is my workbook. Like, I don't know if
Oh,
nobody else can see it,
yeah.
but that's my workbook. Like, that's all of that's what we go by all year. We get one of these a year,
Oh my
and we
god.
just go through it. And the teachers teach us healings.
Mhm.
Like, every class will get a new healing type of healing, a new way, a new technique, a new form of working with the energetic field. And we have to pass those healings, and we practice them at home, and then I have to write them up, and I have to hand it in. And then they have questions, and they have recordings that we have to listen to and
Mhm.
comment on. And we also have to take anatomy and physiology, and
Right.
we need to take psychology, really, of sorts around people's woundings and defenses. And because when a client comes in, everybody has a way of presenting themselves, and
Okay.
mine is to see how best I can support that person in their being, in the way that they present themselves. And
Oh.
so it's we learn how to really like see somebody's discomfort maybe and be able to help them feel comfortable in who they are, and then we get them on the table and I work physically on them, like I'll be touching them.
Okay.
And different parts. We work with the chakra system mostly.
Right. Okay.
With the 7 chakras, and we'll work with the chakras, and see where they're at, see if they're working in a certain way that brings energy into the body and
Right.
helps.
So when you meet someone and you see how you can best assess them, or are you saying like if someone say their shoulders weren't straight, or they're limping, or you mean like a physical movement thing, or are you saying like more of an energy on their spirit and their personality? Is it a combination of both?
It's a combination of both. I mean, our bodies don't lie, so our bodies. Our bodies tell me certain things. I mean, when somebody walks in and they have certain injuries, or they have certain ways that they are constantly sick, or they're constantly injured, or I take into consideration everything.
Okay.
So the physical body doesn't lie. It tells the truth all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I would start with, is the physical, seeing the person's body, seeing that their shoulders are like this and they're like rolled in, and they're protecting their heart, or whatever comes to mind usually, or I see.
And signs that you're trained to look for.
We look at the human body. Like we had to, sometimes in class, they'll do exercises with us where they'll have like 5 people standing in front of us, and we'll be going, okay, well that person, we work with what we see, and then the person will say, yeah, I have, these issues, and I feel this, and that's why I'm rolled in, I'm protecting my heart, or whatever it is.
But it could be a combination of someone had a biking accident and they have a bad hip, or it could be someone who had emotional trauma carried in their muscles. So when you say you have to, sometimes you practice these things at home, or like how often is Ian coming home from a busy day and you're like, honey, let's do some homework. Like,
he's funny. He'll ask me. He'll say, "Can you do a healing tonight?" I'm like, "No, I've had 2 glasses of wine. I don't think that's a good thing. It might be, it's not recommended."
No, okay, fair enough.
But so I have worked on him quite a bit, and I work with him. He always wants to know where his chakras are, and so he's quite funny about it. And I've worked with my boys a little bit, but they don't really want us working with family because, of course, it's hard for us to be separated from them, right? We know so much objective, right? So I like to work with clients I haven't worked with before. I mean, I don't mind working with, if I'm learning a new technique, and I want to practice working on, just to sort of get the technique down and stuff. So I'll do that. But it's quite funny. Ian really likes it. He likes lying on the table because he always falls asleep. And
he probably asked for a foot rub in there at some point too.
Yeah.
Guys, are you single and looking for love? Do you have that one fabulous friend who just can't find the right partner? Are you a senior who thinks it's too late to get back in the dating game but would really love to meet someone? Then I want to hear from you. ILO on Location presents Sundays on the Couch with Irene, episodes dedicated to connecting singles with other singles. The best part is, I get to be your first date. Doesn't that sound like fun? Interested? Then head over to my website's contact page at www.irenecares.com/contact and send me an email telling me about you. I already know you're fabulous since you're listening. Could there be a podcast love connection out there? Absolutely. You never know who might be listening to you. Anyone and everyone is welcome, no matter who and what you're into. And if you want to keep your name a secret for our listeners, that's okay too. ILO on Location, connecting singles with other singles from the couch. So how do you manage your time?
Well, I'm fortunate now because, I don't have my little ones at home anymore. So, I don't need to spend as much time with that aspect of it. I don't think and there are people in my class who have young children at home, and I have one woman, she's from Florida. She has 3 children. They're all under the age of like 14, and she's a nurse. Can you imagine her life right
Oh
now?
my
And
gosh.
and she's taking this course, right? So, I don't know if I could have taken it when I was younger and had children at home and all the responsibilities, but people do it. They do it, and God love them. So the way I structure it is I'm always the first to get my homework in because I that's how I am.
I love it.
And I work really hard. I just get up in the morning. I do meditation first thing in the morning. I do some journaling, and then I spend the part of the morning working on homework and reading, because there's a lot of reading.
Okay.
And homework. And so then I'll give myself a break. I really have it easy right now compared to the other people in my class that work full. Like there's a professor in our class. We've got a lawyer in our class.
Wow.
We've got a physiotherapist, a nurse, a psychiatrist.
Wow.
Like there's a lot, and they're from all over the world. We've got people from Japan, from Spain, from Portugal, from France, all over the United States. 3 Canadians, myself, one from Winnipeg, and one from Nova Scotia. And we've got people from Ecuador.
Wow. So your class is international, so you're connected to people around the world. And how has it been with the whole coronavirus?
Well, we can't do healings because we're not allowed to be within 6 feet of people. So we've been learning how to do long distance healings very well.
Oh, you can do long distance healing?
Yeah, we do long distance healings. And so I'll work with a person. I've worked with people in France, and I've worked with people in different places where they lie down, and then I bring their field in and I work with whatever comes in. So that's a whole other learning curve that we've had to learn very quickly in our group.
Wow.
We have people who are presenting what we call case, and that is you do 10 healings on one person, and you write up a 25-page case on the person and what you've learned, and it takes about a year to do the case, like to start. And I've already presented mine. I presented it back in December, but there's people that have to present it still, and they have to present it on Zoom.
Right. So totally different experience.
Totally different experience.
Wow.
And then in person with the teachers and the class there to support you, because it's a very emotional thing. They've been going through a really hard time.
Let's just take coronavirus out of the equation for this particular moment. But when you finish the program, what happens after that? You work for another company? How does it work for clients?
It looks different, and that's the one thing. That's how Barbara sort of set it up. There are people in my class who are, like I said, physios and psychiatrists or doctors or nurses or whatever, and they're all just going to take what they've learned to their practice. Okay. So the nurse will go and she will become a better nurse because she's going to be more aware of the human condition and human emotions, and how people get ill and sick and stuff. So she is already taking that. So there will be probably half of our class who will start their own practices. Okay. So you'll have your own practice, and then some people go and they work in hospitals, volunteer. I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Like what? So that's still the unknown, which is also kind of exciting.
Well, and I don't know what it's going to look for me, because I'm not sure I want to have my own practice. But there's 2 more years of advanced studies that I can take with the school, and so I'm thinking I might take the 2 more years of advanced studies. But I'm probably going to do that in Oxford, England.
Oh my God!
Yeah, because our school is in Oxford as well, not at the University of Oxford, but in the town.
So the circumstances of Corona and the day-to-day and what's happening with the world will kind of help outline how you make decisions over the next while.
Yeah. So if I don't go in September, which is when it starts, the next 2 years of it, it's called an intense study. It's a real, and it's mostly psychology. Yeah. I'll probably wait a year and just take a year off until we can figure this whole Corona thing.
Yeah, no kidding. So how does it work socially? Like, are you everyone's first person they want to talk to at a party? Like, like is everybody in their dog? Fiona, I've got an ache here, or Fiona, I can't lose those 10 pounds, or Fiona, why am I always depressed? Like, are you just like bombarded now that people who know you know you're training in this?
It's interesting because at first I didn't talk about it at all because I didn't know how to talk about it. I was just learning and I didn't really know how to discuss it with people. And of course, everyone would say, "Oh, you're doing Reiki." No, I'm not doing Reiki. But now people are pretty respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I have had people just say to me, "So can you see my aura?" I'm like, let's say this. I have had a couple of glasses of wine, so no, I have not see your aura. No. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, people are pretty good. I don't get too much. I get a lot of questions, and people are curious. But more and more and more, the more I am confident. The more people are asking me more, and it's a weird topic too because there's a lot of people who. I mean, Sam, my son, is like, "Mom, that's just weird shit, Mom." I'm like, "Oh, okay," and I'll just, but I equate it to, Sam. The thing is, here is you're stressed right now. Where does that stress go? It's in your body. Your body's the only thing that's present. It's the only thing that's real. It's the physical. And so, where is that stress going? Oh, it's going in your neck. Okay, so is that a good thing? Is it good to hold on to your stress in your neck? Is that healthy for you? So how do you clear those hereditary tendencies?
Is it something that people should be doing in addition to their family doctor?
Oh, absolutely. Family doctor is crucial. Like, there's no doubt. What this is doing is mostly just helping somebody really understand maybe a little bit more about themselves, take some of the stress off the body, to maybe be more aware of yourself.
How would one hear about the services you offer and other people trained in your field are offered? What would it be that they would ask for? A referral? How would they find this kind of healing?
Yeah, it's one of those things I think you just have to bump into mostly.
Word of mouth.
Be curious about word of mouth. I mean, there's not a lot of us trained in Vancouver, Brennan Healer. I only know of maybe 4 or 5 of us.
Right.
And there's a couple people but there might be more. People tend to bring it into their own practices, like I said. Right. And so I think that's one of those kismet type of things that just sometimes happens where something just comes up.
What was it that gave you the confidence to not go back to what you had been super successful at before and to take the confidence to move forward in something totally new?
Part of it was the film industry the years that I worked, the 90s and 80s, 90s and the 2000s. I mean, it was fantastic. I never stopped working and I was fairly successful. But it just started to get boring. And it started to get hard, and it started to get, the hours were long, the stress was huge, and we were going into reality TV shows, and the budgets were terrible. The economies of the world were going to pot. The U.S. was pulling back because their economy was falling apart, and I thought, why am I doing this? I'm bored, it's stressful. My kids are 13 and 6, and I want to be with them. So for me, it was kind of I had to put my ego aside because I was good and I did work all the time, and I did have to put my ego aside and say, okay, walking away from this. But it was mostly it was circumstances. It was just the right time, and people were shocked that knew me because they were, oh, she's going to last a week and she's going to be crawling back asking for work. And I said, no, I'm done, guys. I'm done. I'm retired. And they just went, no way, not you. You will never retire. And I said, oh, no, I will. So I never went back. I never gave up my photography. I mean, I always loved photography. So I set up my own little website and I make books with my photography. And so I always had my little hobbies that I stuck to as well. And so I still do that. I still go down to the beach and take my camera with me. And
So you have
like,
your creative side that you're still finding ways to be passionate about. I mean, I remember when I've been in your home at Christmas and such, your photographs, of course, are all over your house, blown up and fabulous, beautiful. And that's your editor, I guess, eye and looking through the lens. And now you can find that balance in doing your creative work on your own time. And now with your healing career to come. That's so exciting.
Well, I did a book last year because we have to do a creative project every year, and I did a book last year for school, and it's a chakra book.
Right.
And I took my pictures, and I made a book, and it has the 7 chakras, and each chakra has 7 pictures of mine that sort of, for me, relate to the chakra.
Right.
And so I took my photographs from everywhere, and I put this book together. So it's quite a lovely book that I put together.
Wow.
So that sort of stuff. So I always have my photography, and I kind of like having I like having the freedom, but I also like having something to do. But I do like having the freedom of kind of choosing what I want to do.
Yeah, that flexibility and being
that flexibility.
Own,
I think I'll go on another trip to Sri Lanka and I'll take my camera with me and get some great shots. And so, I feel very fortunate. I've had the choices to make. Yeah.
That's kind of the goal for most people is to sort of have, but it's such a luxury that you were able to sort of put your focus somewhere else and take a new passion on.
Having that sort of open schedule to do whatever I want to do, I do need to keep myself sort of back at times with stuff.
Is there an area in your field that you think you might specialize in down the road, or a certain area that is the most interesting to you, or do you not know that yet?
Well, I have thought about it. The one area that I really like working, and I haven't done a lot of it, but I'd be interested in is children. Because the wounds for us as human beings start in our childhood, and I think a lot of them come up through our lives, and they just keep, they're still there. And I would just really love I love working with children. I work with Adam's little girl who's a newborn.
You're kidding already? At such a young age? She's a baby.
She's a baby. She's a newborn, and I asked her parents if I could check her chakras, and I've never checked a baby's chakras before. And I kind of know we've discussed it in school, and we've learned a little bit about babies, but it was so fun to test her chakras, and I didn't do anything, but I did test her spine to see if her spine was really, she was like right here, right? Yeah, what a powerful little girl. And that was really fun for me to do. But I was very, just really quick, and Adam and Alicia thought that was really fun. And now Ben wants me to do it with his little girl, Ella, but she's in Chicago, so we can't do her yet. But these are things that I would like to work with children or animals. I love working with animals.
Oh, you can do it with animals too.
Yeah, you can work with animals for sure. Animals are so sensitive to energy work because that's all they are, is love. Like, they're just like, your animals just love you, right? It's all about when an animal's really scared or really barking a lot or doing a lot of that kind of stuff, they're usually just mimicking their owners in some way, right?
Okay, so my fur baby, who you've had the pleasure of meeting, my little Charlotte, I can book an appointment with you to read her energy in the sense of making sure she's healthy. Like, is that?
Yeah. Right. Seeing where her little, where her energy fields are and where she's maybe a little bit nervous or something. That's sure. Yeah. I love doing that kind of stuff. It's really fun. And it's really fun with children and animals because they're so open and so simple. It's really interesting stuff.
How come you don't see advertising or marketing? Like, how come I don't understand it or know about it before I'm talking to you?
I think it's because it's a very strange field. People are still, can't see it. Then therefore it isn't like Sam, my son Sam, who says, oh, Mom, that's just weird stuff. It's just like, you can't prove it. And oh, yeah, you can. Yeah.
Well, I'm so fascinated because, you hear about these things and I'm open to talking to everybody about anything and everything. So it's like, oh, yeah, well, I don't know anything about what she does or how she does it. So I'd be so curious because you're obviously excited about it and passionate about it. Guys, since I don't have any sponsors, I thought I would use this opportunity to bring awareness to a cause that's close to my heart: mental health. Do you battle depression or suffer from mental health? Are you looking for help or to help? Then let me share with you 2 great websites full of resources and information for whatever your needs are, for yourself or for someone you care about. CallTimeMentalHealth.com is created by BC's motion picture industry unions, and healthlinkbc.ca/mental health, part of our BC medical system. No matter who you are or how you're feeling, you're not alone, and there is help out there. CallTimeMentalHealth.com and healthlinkbc.ca/mental health. Thank God we were there together, because of course we had to work through some family trauma, which, we're working through still today, and everyone and on their own accord and to their own pace. And that's just the way life goes,
Yeah. The mental illness part of it is one that we're not really allowed to work on either until we're further along in our studies. Maybe when I do my advanced studies, because that is a very tricky one. It's very tricky. The brain and the mind and the whole mental illness thing, or that is a very tricky one for me. And of course, you and I are both pretty emotional about all that.
Yeah.
It would be hard for me.
Yeah.
So maybe I can help eventually with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
there is things like that out there in this field, in this training. There are other people who are specialized in all areas.
Yeah. My teachers, a lot of my teachers are, quite a few of them are psychologists already.
Right.
So they're taking this teaching and they're bringing it to their practices as well. So they can help people with their energetic field. My friend who's a psychiatrist, boy, some of the stuff she's doing with her patients, she doesn't obviously tell us stories or anything because it's all private, but some of the stuff that she is able to bring into it now is quite beautiful.
Well, it just seems that people are, I feel, in today more open to talking about everything in general. Nothing, your schooling, mental health, sexuality, fluid. There just seems to be more of an open dialogue in today's world, anyways, about all topics. So.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. You've got the gift of gab as well, right? Which is obviously something great you'll bring in your practice. But I know I get what I get out of connecting for an hour on the phone and just talking with someone. I feel connected, and that's a lucky thing to have, No,
that's natural for human beings. It's it's a need we have, is to feel connected. And it's I think it's more than ever right now. That is a theme that we beings are looking at. Like, how are we connected? Are we connected? Am I connecting in the right way? Or am I just connecting for the sake of it? Like, how do you want to connect? Is all those questions, right?
Yeah. As we both know in our experiences and in life, you can't predict anything anyways, So, I mean, anything can happen at any freaking second. You just kind of gotta go about the day and do your best and put your head down at the end of the night and feel good about yourself in the day. So, Fiona, I'm so glad you were able to sit down and talk with me today, because, like I said, I've known you for how many years? 20. We've been through weddings and babies and deaths and turkeys, and we've been Mexico, we've done all, but at the end of the day, I didn't really know much about your new career, and I just think that's so exciting that I could learn about you today.
Thank you.
Because you guys always come and see my stuff, Mamma Mia, the whole freaking Wilkinson clan. The theater sold out when the Wilkinsons are in the house. It's 500 of you, and not ever miss a show, and I always feel the support. And then, you were such a great support, to our family with our experiences. And it's nice to kind of learn a little bit about you so that I can now come together with questions and learn more next time.
Yeah. And I'd love to I'll do a healing on you. Okay.
Yeah.
So next, when we can actually,
I can already tell you what it'll be about is how do I get rid of my belly fat? I mean, I live in a pink bubble, so I know my natural energy state is usually pretty positive, but I'm gonna, that's gonna be question number 1. Put the chakra right around my waistline.
We'll jiggle your belly. We'll get it going.
Well,
We're gonna work on it.
Amazing. And that's my conversation with Fiona. Thank you for listening, and thank you to the fabulous Fiona for joining me today from her home in West Vancouver. You can visit Fiona's website for her contact information as well as see her stunning photography gallery at www.fionaduncanson.com. That's spelled FIONADUNCANSON.com. I hope we made you smile, and I hope you heard something positive from our chat today, whether it's being inspired to learn more about energy healing and its benefits in physical health, disease, emotional health, and human transformation, or being inspired to follow your passions and interests, even if it's later in life and something other than your current profession or family responsibilities. And if you like my new interest of ILO on Location, the podcast, be sure to subscribe to my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. Join me again next time on ILO on Location. Yay! That's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And remember, if you enjoyed some rosé along with me, make sure you don't drink and drive. The only place I go from my couch is to the kitchen or the bathroom. You can find me at www.irenecaris.com/podcast. You can follow me on my Facebook public page and Twitter at Irene Caris, or on my Instagram at Irene Caris Loper. Thanks to my amazing husband for giving me my married name, aka ILO. The ILO on Location podcast is hosted, produced, and edited by me. God bless. Special thanks to my gorgeous nephew Connor, aka C-Buddy on iTunes, for the original music. And thank you to my puppy Charlotte for being my most loyal listener and adding her 2 cents barking in the background. Join me again next time as I gab away with another one of my fabulous friends. Honey,